Africa is entering a new chapter. And if you listen closely, you can hear it. The rhythm of change echoes through the alleyways of Ouagadougou, where barefoot boys play football with plastic bags, but stop to raise their fists when a Pan-African flag passes by. It flows through the marketplaces of Bamako, where women with head wraps and tired eyes whisper about politics between the prices of yams. It dances in the chants of the youth, gathered not for violence but for vision. In Abidjan, the city doesn't sleep, not because of the nightlife, but because something deeper is stirring. Taxi drivers are arguing about coups, street artists are painting over colonial graffiti, old men sit under mango trees, radios pressed to their ears, hearing the news they never thought they'd live long enough to witness. And from the north to the coast, one feeling is spreading faster than fear: readiness. This isn't just the sound of unrest, this is the sound of awakening, the sound of a people remembering, the sound of Africa shaking off the dust of decades, not with rage but with purpose, because the drums that once called warriors to war are calling a new generation to freedom. And this time they're not marching alone. 2. Current event reports are flooding in, the kind that start as whispers then roar through the streets like wildfire. There's talk of a coup in Côte d'Ivoire, the kind of coup that doesn't wait for confirmation, the kind that simmers beneath headlines before erupting on the ground. Official sources are silent. Government spokesmen deny, but the people, they've already seen the signs. Military trucks on the move, sudden blackouts in key neighborhoods, phone signals jamming just long enough to make you paranoid. And then, France. France once again moving troops like chess pieces, quietly, strategically. No press conference, no debate, just boots, landing, as if on cue. And now across every radio, every group chat, every tea shop and taxicab, one question is being asked in every language, with the same urgency: what's really happening in Ivory Coast? Is this another crackdown, or is this the beginning of something bigger? Because coups don't just appear out of thin air, they're born in silence, fed by anger and delivered in moments the world pretends not to see. But this time the world is watching. And Africa is no longer watching in silence. On paper it looks like political noise, another African election, another protest in the streets, another so-called power struggle between the people and the palace. But that's the surface. That's what the headlines want you to believe. Beneath it, a storm has been quietly building, fed by decades of foreign control, economic manipulation, and a deep, bitter silence that Africans are no longer willing to keep. And at the center of that silence stands one man, President Alassane Ouattara. To the west he's painted as a reliable partner, a man who brings stability to a region that makes Europe nervous. But step into the neighborhoods of Abobo or Yopougon, and you'll hear a different story. The CFA franc, still designed in Paris, still controlled in Europe, still bleeding Africa in broad daylight. They closed their military outposts, but never really moved out. Today French bases still sit on African soil like uninvited guests who refuse to leave. And the leaders they couldn't control, they were silenced. Thomas Sankara, shot down for dreaming too loud. Laurent Gbagbo dragged before foreign courts for daring to think differently. Patrice Lumumba, assassinated, dismembered, and erased from Western textbooks. From the deserts of Mali, to the green hills of Guinea, to the battle-worn streets of Burkina Faso. And at the heart of this shift stands a new kind of leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, unbought and unafraid. When he took power in Burkina Faso, he didn't beg for approval. He kicked French troops out, he banned foreign meddling, and he made it crystal clear: Africa will be ruled by Africans. And that message, it's spreading like wildfire. Because Traore was never just one man, he was the spark, and now the dominoes are falling. Mali, and maybe now, Ivory Coast. Whether this coup is confirmed or not doesn't matter, because the energy is real, the resistance is rising. And the call isn't to fix the old system, it's to break it, burn it, and build something that finally belongs to Africans. The West calls them coups, but in the hearts of millions of Africans, these aren't power grabs, they're power returns. Because what good is a democracy if the ballot box is just a passport for foreign interests? If the only winners wear suits in Europe, while barefoot children go hungry in Africa? We call it clarity, not disorder, but a nation finally choosing itself. And this time, the people are not alone. Because for the first time in modern history, the youth have a weapon more powerful than guns. Not with bullets, but with broadband, not in trenches, but on timelines. They're not waiting for change. They're editing it, uploading it, sharing it. One reel, one voice, one post at a time. This is bigger than politics. This is identity reborn, not written by colonial hands, not borrowed from the West, but rooted in the soil, carried in the language, and built by the hands of Africans. It's not just a dream anymore, it's a decision, and the people are making it. With every protest, every speech, every whisper that grows into a roar. So what happens in Ivory Coast? It matters more than headlines can capture, because a shift there could tip the balance across an entire continent. Will the people rise? We don't have that answer yet, but one thing is clear. Africa is done waiting, she's standing, she's moving, and this time, the whole world is watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this message. Subscribe to stay connected to the real stories, not the filtered ones. This is not just content. This is consciousness, and the time is now.